Well, I started off pretty poorly. I was 86 in the sixth, the first game, and then I got it going a little bit, and I struck out for 204 and then 220, and then I saw Schlemmer, and I asked him. I said, I can stay with this ball, and if I throw it decent, I strike every time. I don't have to throw it good. I just have to throw it decent. He goes, change ball. So I changed to a disturbed, and then it was party was on, and I could move it. I moved in on side a little bit, and I could just let it go at the gutter, and I had perfect ball reaction to bowl 300. So it was very nice. I mean, we look forward every year to bowling the World Series, and I guess my first 6 frames showed I had a few jitterbugs in there, and once you get comfortable, it feels nice, and I've had decent success here when I've been here the last few years. So once you find something that allows you to control the pocket and strike, you start to feel a bit more comfortable. And I think my goals mainly were just to try and not make too many silly errors most of the time, and I failed to do that today. I mean, I missed a couple of spares, and overall it was an okay day because I didn't hurt myself, but it would have been nicer if I could have bowled better, even if I'd have had the same score, if that makes sense.
I started off with the Sinister, going, not really going up and at them very much, still swinging it a little bit. But once that started to get a little too strong, I had to ball down to an IQ Tour Solid. Stayed with that, and then eventually that started being a little too quick, and I had to move left even more and kind of slow wheel it and belly it a little bit more. And then from there, I had to go down to a IQ Tour Nano, just something a little bit smoother that didn't want to really jerk, so I could just roll it. Because as soon as, if I stayed with the IQ Tour Solid, I felt like I had to force it there a little bit, and if I forced it through it, then it's going to go too long, and your angles are going to get really bad. So that was the reason for switching to the IQ Nano, to be able to shoot 280 game 6 to put me up in that position where I'm going to be. And I've been bowling really, really well for the last three months or so. The knee's feeling great. Obviously, the Weber Cup was possibly one of the most fun events I've ever bowled in my life. If you guys get to see it, you're going to see a lot of different emotion out of me that you've probably never seen before. I actually bowled a regional at home last weekend and managed to win that. That was on Cheetah as well. So just a lot of good things going, a lot of confidence built up, and I expect a good week this week.
The Roto Group guys, this set we had Stu, BK, Wes. Obviously, Wes got there. BK struggled a little bit early on. Just the pace was just not fast enough. He came out like 190, 2-0. Then he finally got his to where we back his hand out of it and tried to play straighter. And he was good on some pairs, but just never knocked down enough wood. But like some of the guys were saying earlier, it's good for the World Championship deal, because most of our guys are not fans of the Cheetah pattern. It's just one of those things. The way you got to throw it a certain kind of way, and most of our guys don't throw it that certain kind of way. So did okay. Stu actually, again, happy. He got the 220, 230 over, which obviously is not going to be enough to make the cut for the Cheetah. But all these guys, that's a good starting point for the big picture of a World Championship. So, today, I mean, again, it's what are we in, 2014? The 2014, this year's version of the Cheetah. The guys who used Sinisters were good. Some of the guys are actually able to get into disturbs. And even outcries were pretty good there for a while, depending on how you throw it. And that's what we were just talking to Wes about. Every time he tried an outcry, it just wasn't quite enough. That's why he'd actually go to stronger balls. We had some other guys that were using outcry, like Brad actually used an outcry quite a bit today. So that ball did match up for certain players, but some people, again, this building's so tricky that, for what works for one guy is completely off the map for another, so it's, we're trying to make generalizations, and even just, talking to Pete and some of the people coming in for the next shift, having a Sinister in the bag, because they were tighter today, so it makes sense to have that big ball, strong ball, and then an outcry is definitely an option. There wasn't quite enough friction for like an uproar, and even Hysterias didn't quite see the friction the right way, so. But again, the strip and recoil, those balls might be magical this next set. We don't know. It's just, the guessing game. So, but overall, and that's kind of what we had. So.